8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody out there at YouTube. We are the Middle Age Guys. In this particular video, we're going to talk Microsoft. All right. Bear with us. Usually, we haven't talked about Microsoft for a while, and I know a lot of times we've got a lot of criticism. I don't think this video is going to be devoid of that. In fact, it's probably going to have a lot of criticism, but follow along and you'll see why. All right. Let me get the introductions out of the way. I'm the Reverend.
The Theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse 1.
Okay. Microsoft. Let's just set the stage here. All right. Microsoft, when it comes to their place in the industry, if you're talking about operating systems and dealing with PCs and everything, their position is rock solid. Really, nobody is competing with them. All right. As far as operating systems for the end user, and that's worldwide. All right. Whether it be Windows XP, which over a billion users still, a billion people still use in China. All right. All the way up to Windows 10, which they're trying to push out on every electronic platform that they have, even their failed ones, whether it be their mobile devices and things like that. Operating system wise, nobody's really competing with Microsoft. All right. Now, when it comes to the video game industry and the console marketplace, well, Microsoft has seen better days. All right. The Xbox One, as far as that goes, there has been no formal count or no formal sales numbers as far as the number of units that are actually out there. Even for the number of units that are actually out there, that's really not a realistic reflection of the number of households actually have Xbox One units, whether it be the vanilla Xbox One, the Xbox One X, or the Xbox One X. All right, S and X. Yeah. Okay. They've got to create a middle console called the Xbox One E. So they'll have the Xbox One S, E, and X, and then that'll be everything. Everything will be cool. All right. Now, regardless of Microsoft's position within the console market, one thing that you can't deny, though, is that their digital services, everything that they provide that's attached to the Xbox Live, whether or not be the Xbox Live service, all of the services that they provide on the front end attached to the Xbox One, or even yet their Xbox Game Pass service, which they announced actually that around the end of summer last year, right? So Game Pass has only been around for like maybe 6-7 months, right? The thing about it is that the number of services that they have attached and the amount of money that they made over their services has actually grown over the last quarter by over 20%. So they still have a reason to go ahead and actually exist as part of the marketplace, or at least enough of a reason to convince the folks, the executive people at Microsoft, from pulling the plug on the Xbox One. All right. Now, this earlier this week, on January 23rd, they made a very, very interesting announcement. The folks over there at Microsoft announced that the Xbox Game Pass, the aforementioned service we just talked about like 10 seconds ago, is going to expand to not only include more games, but now to also include brand new releases from Microsoft Studios. All right. So when it comes to the Microsoft exclusive games that are coming out going forward right now, well, guess what? Those are going to show up day one on Xbox Game Pass. All right. This has been received with rather mixed reception industry-wide. A lot of retailers fucking hate this straight out. All right. One Austrian retailer, I believe it was, let's see here, the Austrian retailer named Gameware, 2 days after Microsoft announced that they were going to go ahead and include the exclusive Microsoft titles day one on Game Pass. They were like, we have no reason to sell Microsoft consoles anymore. You know why? Because guess what? You've now removed any reason for anybody to go out of their way to actually buy your fucking games. Okay? So they completely dropped Microsoft off of their retail space. All right?
Buy physical copies, you mean?
Yeah, because the thing is that nobody has any reason to buy physical copies of, any of the actual Microsoft games, any of the exclusive games or anything like that. I would have to say with this particular one, I don't know how a lot of the publishers feel about it, but they probably have mixed feelings over this. And there's also probably a reason why right now only Microsoft published exclusive games are showing up as, brand new titles day one on the Xbox Game Pass. And all of this is going to start with the release of, Sea of Thieves, which is set to release out, let's see here, on March 20th. All right? Okay. Without delving too far into the details and everything else, guys, what are your thoughts on this?
So let me go first. Start off with, let me ask a question. The PC Master Race. How long has the PC Master Race have been, when you purchase a game for the PC, majority of it have been digital copies? Like
if
I go to a retail store and I look for PC games, I don't see them on the shelf. I'm talking about like new games that are coming out, et cetera, et cetera. It's all been digital. So I'm not defending Microsoft's decision on this, but Microsoft is paying attention to then you got Steam also as well. So, and that's all digital copies of the games. So I guess what they're their thought process, the bean counter thought process is, well, people are already have been doing this for a while. At least the PC guys who wants the most recent game, they've been for the last, couple years, 5-6 years, they've been actually buying it. It could even be for 10 years. People have been buying digital copies of a game that's been released. And so from a business standpoint, I understand kind of where Microsoft is coming from. There's money to be made for digital copies of the game. Now, I just want to throw this out real quick, is that I'm 100% against digital only. There should always be an option to where I could physically have a copy of the game. That's just me. But there are those out there that feel that this is the wave of the future. So I just wanted to throw that out to everybody before we get deeper into this conversation, that there are reasons behind, and there's stats. Everybody wants facts, right? We're kind of a fact channel that we always look for facts. And matter of factly, there's a lot of PC games out there that's coming that are digitally only. It's just sales for the past couple of years. Theme, what do you say about this as opening comments?
Okay, wait. First things first. Microsoft Studios games, huh? So what, all 5 of them?
Yeah.
Wait. Out of everything that stuck to me, that's what stuck to me the most. It's not like they have a whole brand or a whole shelf of exclusives that they're going to need to actually support this and hold its weight. It's the games that are important here.
Not at this particular point in time. Microsoft doesn't have but 5 or 6 exclusives. But if you've been keeping up with the headlines with Microsoft and Xbox, seems like they got a couple of things behind the curtain for the future. We're talking about 3 to 5 years into the future, and they're just setting up.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that we've covered that we've had in the past, and games that they've canceled, like Scalebound. So until they produce game after game after game that are exclusive to their brand, exclusive to their console, that I can't get anywhere else that will support this type of thing, then I think it's absolutely ridiculous, especially if you can get the same type of games on the PC anyway.
So the question I got for you then, Theme, is do you think there's more PC Master Race guys than there are console guys?
What I'm saying is,
No, I mean, as
If
a
you have-
question. Because I think it's flip-flopped. I think that there are more PC guys than there are console guys in general. And
No.
so that's what, and so I understand where Microsoft is trying to focus onto that. And this is the build up.
but there are reasons why consoles still exist to this day.
True. No, I'm not denying that.
And it's because of what a console can provide. Now, hear me out. If Microsoft, or if they're going to do this with Microsoft Studios in their games, my point is, why? Why? You've already put your stuff on the PC anyway.
They're trying to combine the ecosystem. They've been saying that for the last 3 years. The infrastructure. They want the ecosystem is what they call it. They want a complete ecosystem across all their devices, whether it be a tablet, phone,
But as you said earlier,
or a console.
But as you said earlier, Steam exists, and that has third-party games like that already.
True. Absolutely.
When you have, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. All right, all right. There's a few things. There's a few caveats and a few details that stick out here. All right. With this particular announcement, they expanded it to include exclusive Microsoft published games. All right. Do I think they can expand it to include brand new titles from third-party publishers? No. None of those third-party publishers are going to go for that.
They're not going to play ball.
Nobody is going to go for that. All right, because the thing is that as it stands right now, if you don't own an Xbox One, all right, and you pick up one right now, and then you decide to go ahead and pay $60, or shit, you don't even have to pay $60. Search eBay, search freaking Amazon for a deal on Xbox Live 12-month account. All right, you'd probably be spending like $40. Okay. Let's say you go ahead, you get yourself your Xbox Live account, and then you sign up for Game Pass. All right, Game Pass is only $10 a month, and then you have access to the whole fucking library that's out there. All right, and also what's growing is everything that's backwards compatible, also, and everything else. So there's a huge library of games. If the reason why you picked up the Microsoft Xbox console is to go ahead and have access to the Microsoft titles, you have no reason whatsoever to ever pick up a brand new fucking title at retail. If that's the only reason why you picked up the console. All right. And that's, for Microsoft themselves, who sees all the money from the service. All right. And, everything that comes through the service, whether or not, just by having people subscribe, that's profit to them, then maybe that's something that they can go ahead and they can do to go ahead and subsidize, all right, the cost of making a game and then putting it out on the service. Because guess what? Now you have everybody with this fucking service basically paying in toward whatever fucking games you publish, all right? Third-party publisher is not going to fucking agree to that. They want that day one sale, that $60. All right, they want the ability to go ahead and sell off their DLC and any expansions or handle microtransactions on their own, upwards and outside of that. Okay, this is part of the reason why. The guys in Austria, at Game whatever it was, they decided to go ahead and say, fuck all this noise. This is the reason why GameWire went ahead and said fuck all this noise and everything. Look, they're like, the only reason why people are going ahead and they're buying your shit is because there are a few exclusives that are out there that are pretty much kind of have people, if they're really looking forward to that, then it's giving them an onus to go ahead and own your console. All right. Now you're telling me that now they have no reason to buy that fucking title brand new at all anymore. So why should we sell your console? Especially knowing for most retailers, they don't make any money, or they make the lowest amount of money off of consoles. They make the most off of accessories and games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, this particular one here, look, if you're somebody who's curious about having an Xbox One, and you don't have any of the other systems or whatnot, and let's say you're somebody who needs to go ahead and you travel all around the country, you don't want to have to sit there and be required to lug around a game library with you. This is an absolute great fucking deal. All right. This is a fucking steal and a half. All right. But if you're somebody who values the physical media and values actually having a physical library, and who is looking for, I don't know, something, another way to go ahead and play their games, or something to show for having games or whatnot, then this may not make a lot of sense to you. All right. The scary thing about this is that this is pretty much, Microsoft has pretty much sat there and said, hey, look, we're turning the Xbox One console into a set-top box. You're not going to own any media going forward. You're not going to have to own anything. You're going to have to be connecting to us all the fucking time to go ahead and validate your accounts and all of that. And you're going to have to be paying us a subscription fee all the time, regardless of whether or not you ever step into any retail spot altogether. Okay?
You see,
all the money that you spent goes to Microsoft.
Okay. Let's talk about having the games as a service. Yes, you're going to have to set up an account specifically for that. Games most likely won't be saved onto your console, or probably be in the cloud somewhere.
Actually,
accessible to your account.
Actually, that's not true.
You're not gonna have games. Hear me out here. External hard drives. Okay, so you're telling me you're going to be able to save the games to the external hard drives and connect them to other Xbox Ones?
I'm assuming, yeah, as long as it's under your Xbox One account.
No, okay, but again.
No, so no, I understand where you're coming from, but I mean,
well,
in that frequently asked questions, that's one question that people are asking is like, what if I download a game, will it still be on my hard drive? And yeah, it will still be there. They're not going to take the game,
but it has to be tethered.
But you're not going to have, you're not going to have rights. You're not going to have your rights to play that game. It can sit there, but once you're, like, for an example, once you're, let's say you decide not to pay the $10 that month, so all the games that you downloaded off of there will go into a dormant state and wait until you have, because you won't have the digital rights to that game.
Just like PlayStation Now.
Pretty much.
From what I understand, you could register up to 2 Xbox Live accounts on one Microsoft system. All right, or at least that's how it was for the Xbox 360. So I'm not sure how it's handled, for like sharing, or if you're over at a buddy's house or something else like that. But no, they're really not. I know what the team is saying. I don't think they're really going to sit there and allow you to go ahead and say, oh, I'm going to form out an 8 terabyte external hard drive. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download as many fucking games as I want on this thing. And then I'm just going to go, I don't know, from Xbox to Xbox, taking this external drive with me to go ahead and play that.
You're right. Because what it's going to do, when you download the game, it's going to tether that game to your account. And that's how they're going to keep up with whether or not you have the right to play that game. Now,
and that's what I mean. And that's
question, they're going to say, let's say for an example, I have all this downloaded and I take it over to the Reverend's house. When I put that external hard drive into his Xbox, it's going to ask him to buy that game. There's going to be a pop-up asking him to buy that game. Unless I sign on to my account on his Xbox, then DRM. I mean, it's DRM. It's just bottom line.
And you're going to have to be connected to the internet in order to do that.
For them to check. Yeah. They got to check for, if you have the rights to that game.
Yeah. And the thing is that if somebody, let's say you go ahead and you do that, and at your house in Japan, your kids go ahead and turn your Xbox on, and they sign into your account, you'll be automatically signed off of the one over here at my house.
Right.
So yeah, it will marry shit to the console that you're on.
One thing too is that since we're in this conversation in this particular part of the conversation right here, is that the Game Pass service, they're going to rotate games, and as the game rotates out, you're not going to. I mean, as long as you have the digital rights to it, you're going to be able to play it. But if you don't, or if you let your account expire or whatever, you're not going to be able to play it. But Microsoft is not going to come onto your hard drive and delete that game off of your hard drive, because you could have it on your hard drive, you just don't have the digital rights to play that game until you pay that $10 again. DRM.
One of the main things is that, okay, you're not going to be paying full price for games, and and then you can't access them. This is not what they're doing. They're doing a $10 a month service in order to access games, basically just like PS Now.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what this is. Now, again, yeah, they're going to have like brand new titles on there made by Microsoft Studios. But my biggest question is earlier: are there going to be a lot of games from new games? I mean, from the past, of course they're going to have shit from the past. That's basically like PS Now.
Actually, it's better than PS Now. Microsoft has a bigger library on this than PS Now could ever dream of having. I'm just saying.
First party or third?
It doesn't matter. Games. I'm not saying first party. First party is a different
it
story.
Does. I was going to say it does, because as the Reverend alluded to earlier, third party's not going to do this no.
Not day one releases. No. That's why Microsoft said that specifically that it's going to be actually it says Microsoft Studio games.
Because for PlayStation now, on PlayStation Now, first party and third party games are there from the past, and okay, they don't do.
It's on this too.
Say again.
First and third party is on the Xbox experience. Or I'm sorry, the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's just exclusive. See, I think the big thing that people are
wait again. You gotta allude to that exclusive. Like Sony exclusives aren't on PS Now.
I'm not saying that they're not.
And Sony,
not day one. No. Sony. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Not day one.
Day
Sony
one
Entertainment. No.
Wait. But that's what I'm saying. Day one. Okay, you're acting like a whole bunch of Microsoft titles are going to be coming out in order to be day one to be included in this.
Not in this particular point in time. No, there's only like 5 or 6 exclusives. I think they're not looking at now. They're trying to look at the future. I mean,
let me go ahead and refocus us for a little bit, because the thing is that we talked about the Xbox One Game Pass before, all right, and we also talked about PlayStation Now as services and stuff like that. And the one thing that we came to on a consensus when talking about both of them is that for these services to make sense for all of the publishers involved, that we weren't going to see brand new games show up on these services. All right.
Correct.
Microsoft is stepping in now saying, hey, look, you are going to see brand new games. They're going to be Microsoft Studio games. All right. Which automatically translates to these are the games that are going to be were Microsoft made exclusives for the Xbox One.
Yep.
All right. Now, where that really the only reason why they're able to go ahead and do that is because, like I said, Microsoft can then sit there and use the Xbox Game Pass fees and everything to go ahead and subsidize them actually developing the game.
Yeah.
I don't know of any third-party publisher, okay, whether or not they be an indie publisher or a big AAA publisher who's going to be willing to do this. All right, who's going to sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to release our fucking game brand new on Xbox Game Pass." All right, because guess what? Whether or not the game costs $2.99 all the way up to $69.99, they are going to be looking for that first initial surge of brand new fucking purchases that every publisher looks for.
I don't think it's
the danger.
I don't think it's fair to say that. In all honesty, to put words into third-party mouths, so to speak, because I mean we don't know the future. I mean, a third-party company very well may think the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Here's what here's what they would do. They would create their own service like that,
like EA does.
Like EA, they would not piggyback on Microsoft to do this. Therefore, like Netflix, Hulu, and so on, you will have EA, Microsoft, you have Sony, you have Ubisoft. You will have to pay for all these subscriptions in order to get those day one releases from those companies. That's what will happen.
Well, the other thing too, all right, the other thing too is that when it comes to this particular one, like I said, the only people who are making money off of it directly is going to be Microsoft, all right? Can you imagine the logistical and legal nightmare it's going to be to sit there and say, okay, so how many plays on your fucking game service is my brand new title worth? Okay? That's not going to be something that they're going to be able to sit there and negotiate out. At least not initially. The only thing that I think that they can do to go ahead and circumvent that is if Microsoft sits there and goes, okay, we are going to pay you $40 million to go ahead and give us a 6-month timed exclusive on that thing. Okay? Because guess what? There is no third-party publisher who's going to agree to that without seeing any sort of money up front.
It's going to happen. It'll happen.
Okay.
Or if they do partner with Microsoft, guess what? The price for this service will increase.
And
I think it's going to increase anyways.
In all honesty, this is pretty much the beginning of the end of retail. Let's
$30 a month.
Look, I'm telling you, this. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room real quick for the last couple of minutes. This is the death of retail.
Only if we
can't stop it. Retail
is
digital only media is a
people still go into game stores looking for physical copies of games.
It's not as much as you think it is, to be honest.
It's dwindling. It is dwindling. All right. The thing is that
retail. Let's just we got to speak the truth here. This is it.
Yeah. When it turns out that over 2/3 of the video game industry, the revenue made for the video game industry last year was digital. All right, over 2/3 of it. Unfortunately, yeah, the market's changing, and the physical copies aren't gonna be here. All right, whether or not I'm going to be participating as a consumer on this side of the market or on this side of the industry, when that all comes to pass, when that's actually the new market standard and everything else, I really don't know. I really don't know. All right, because there's a lot of.
I certainly wouldn't put it past Nintendo or Sony to do something like this as well. Yeah. I really wouldn't. I hate to say that as a physical media person that I got to have physical media, but unfortunately this is just the reality of gaming now. It just is.
Yeah. I mean,
and for all of you maybe that got to this point watching this video, would you pay $60 a month or even bi-weekly for this type of service? Let's think about this. If you're going to do for each and every company that may jump on this And that way may piggyback on, you know, like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo that access their stuff and actually implement these services, just like Hulu, just like Netflix, and so on. Would you have all of these accounts in order to play certain games?
And here's the one thing that a lot of people have to sit there and kind of consider when we're dealing with this, is that Microsoft going out of their way and doing this, all right, is that they're pretty much turning the Xbox One X console into a set-top box console, all right? At this moment in time, I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, within a year's time, they start selling Xbox One X's without fucking DVD drives on it.
Well, you know,
they'll do that to bring down the price of the actual unit.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, they would do that. You know,
no, I'm not arguing that point. And Thing kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, right now I'm just counting. If I want a game, I have 5-6 accounts already, just separate accounts: PlayStation, Microsoft, Steam, Nintendo. All these other an account for my PC games that are not attached to Steam. It's already happened.
Yeah, but that's not a monthly thing.
Yeah, they're not all asking for subscriptions off of you.
Most of them are, though. Nintendo is now. You can't say that they're not. Sony is. Microsoft is. Steam is free still, fortunately. And I'm just saying. So
yeah, but
again, asking for a monthly. If you want to get into the multiplayer and all that stuff, I mean,
would you pay $10? Would you pay $20 a month to access Capcom new titles coming out?
It may come to a point to where that.
No, I'm asking the question: yes or no?
Particularly for me, no.
Yeah,
you don't
because
need Capcom.
some of those titles will be so far and in between.
Yeah.
Especially for new titles.
I wouldn't be surprised that Capcom doesn't do that.
Would you do it for Konami?
Konami's not even in the picture.
They'll still have a service. Who's to say they won't do it?
I'm just saying.
Games.
$10 a month to play all of Konami.
I forgot about that. You got what's that for Ubisoft? Uplay? And then you got EA Access, I mean, it's already all there. I mean, if you really think about it,
and people still buy the physical copies of those games when they come out.
It's
or
all
special. Wait, what about special editions? Aha!
It's all going to change.
What about collector's editions? Aha!
It's all going to change.
That's a death sentence to all of that.
Well,
day one content, or extra content that's supposed to be coming with these games.
Well, you're talking about the special editions and stuff. Not many people buy those anyway.
It's only physical. They're not.
But I'm just saying, there's not that many people that buy them anyway. That's why they only make a certain amount. They only make 500.
And they get sold out, and people are like, "Damn it, I didn't get one."
Well, I'm just saying.
More often than not, people are like, "I'm going to pay $150 for that." Because 90%, no, let's just be honest here. 90% of consumers consume off a price point.
That may be true, but a lot of them also go for extra content on certain games.
That could be all.
Not the majority of them.
All DLC.
Yeah, not the majority of them. All right.
Or exclusive content.
No.
So we're going to need a part 2 on this video.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I already set my piece.
So. Yeah, this one's
look, again, people, what do you think about this? Would this be something that you would indulge your money in, especially for Microsoft new content, exclusives or whatever, which will be so far and in between?
Well, actually, the people that are at it, they want it. There's a lot of people that want this. This is the greatest thing.
Yeah, because they're not thinking about the games part of it.
It's popular. It's widely popular.